kind of funky. How does it sound? I should always be talking. Maybe the low, I don't know. It's a little low. Just a touch. All right, let's see how this is, see how this sounds. I can't hear it right now, but I'm still dancing. There we go. Okay, I'm feeling it. I was a bit low energy before this, but the music was really helps. Always good for a little pep app. Hello. I should probably do an intro. Don't you know? Your mom's hello, my name is 10K Hours. Put in the time so my art is no longer a crime. And I think I'm getting there. At least starting to. This piece doesn't feel like a crime, which is great. Today we're back at it like a good habit. I'm going to finish the line art today. And then I think I'm just going to go into rendering. I would like to edit this into Live 2D one day. I actually have an idea for that, but I need to learn how to do that, learn how to use that first. I think that's what I'm going to be doing next week. I got a way to get started with that tomorrow. And I'm going to use that, and I'm going to see about rendering this quick. That reminds me of something I needed to text back. I reminded me of something that I forgot. I need the text. Let them know that I am not going to be able to make it tomorrow. That would have been real awkward if I had forgotten that. Another thing that's going to be real awkward is all the color that's going to go into this. This thing's going to be kind of a pain to render. Especially once I start adding in all the background stuff and the weird lighting that's coming from the bees and the multiple stars. Because this is taking place in outer space. It's gonna be great. You'll learn a whole bunch of new stuff about lighting as I try to draw this. So excited. And also I don't really have a way of shading that I like yet. Because there's something in between, like, because if I try to do, like, I don't know, if I try to do just like normal cell shading, it doesn't look how I want it to. I don't quite like it. But if I try to go like more realistic with the shading, it doesn't seem to fit with what I'm drawing. So it's like something in between, or I'm doing cell shading wrong, that I'm looking for, but I have no idea what. So we'll figure that out. I feel like it's just one of those things I just have to keep doing until I figure it out, though. I'm not zooming in the right place. Yay! Okay, what layer am I on? I'm on this layer. Yay! Alright, we need to get these bees done today. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had Mexican food for dinner. I got 5 B's to do, and I think I'm gonna get the hardest one done first, because it's this guy. Look at him. Look at this. Look at him. It's all wrapped up in the string. I don't think I'm gonna go quite as hard with the string. Or if I do, I'm gonna make it. Or if I do, I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna do this guy just yet. So let's just get the basics. Get them right. Get the right color. Oh yeah, I also, what I kind of want to play around with. I was looking at the pens beforehand. And I saw a pen that gets darker the more pressure you put. I kind of want to try that one out. Maybe I'll try that out for shading, who knows? Because I never... It can also be that whenever it comes to like shading stuff, it's so bad. I'll like, maybe we'll like watch one video like a day or two before I actually do it. And just like look at stuff like real quick before I need to. And then just kind of like guess on most of it. That's probably one of the reasons why I've never really liked my shading. It's because I just assume that I know what I'm doing. That could very well be it. This is gonna drive me crazy. Because this is kind of like a, this is just like a cookie tin. And I just kind of like half put in. It's super small. Oh, that's why it looks weird, because this circle's super weird. Ah. That's why it always looks weird. Okay. Nope. I tell you what, curves are my nemesis. You can never figure them out. Eventually I'll get there, but yeah, only after a ton of trial and error. Okay. Okay. How are we gonna show I'm holding on to this? This is gonna be such a tiny. This is gonna be such a tiny portion. As long as we can see it in his arms, people are gonna be like, "Oh, he's holding it." It doesn't need to be much more than that. Not even gonna be able to see. Have you guys ever played like the video game version of Monopoly or watched somebody do a Let's Play of it? Because the beginning of this song sounded exactly like the theme music for that, and I was like, excuse me? What the hell? Who's playing Monopoly? Oh my god. Oh yeah, I really messed up on these stripes for pretty much all of them. And I gotta pretty much just freehand it for all of them too. There we go. Perfect. Oh, hello. I'm getting serious Monopoly vibes right now. Oh my god. Danny, go to auction! Watch way too much Graham Gumps. I haven't watched them in forever. I got on a VTuber kick, and I don't watch like anything else. It's bad. Like, I don't even want to watch anything else. I'm still subscribed to all those channels from before. But I'm just like, that's cool, you do you. And then don't watch their videos. Let's look at the notifications though. I'm just actively choosing not to watch because I don't want to. I'm sorry. Issy, hey, hello Tenke. How are you? I'm good. It's been a bit. Oh my god. Let me show you what I'm working on. I don't know if you've seen this. I'm doing line art for a much bigger piece right now. Hey! What do you think? Cute, yeah! I, for some reason, just really popped off on her. And now we're here. And now I'm trying to draw all of our little bee helpers. And now I'm trying not to give him a flat head. Oh, I just gave him a flat head. No. Birds and bees. No, not really. This is actually all right. So this is a VTuber. Actually, let me bring up. There it is. This is a VTuber. I've been watching her a bunch recently, and she has this little like sad bee plushie that is kind of become like the unofficial mascot of her streams. But it's not supposed to be birds and bees, it's supposed to be just fan art, really. But she's supposed to, her lore is like she's like this celestial weaver. Like she weaved the heavens into place, and she's got these giant pairs of scissors. So I wanted to draw her like flying through space, like cutting a hole in it and all her little helpers coming out. That was the idea at the very least. And now I'm trying not to give these bees brain damage. It's got a bump on the back of his head, oh no. How you been, Issy? It's been a while. It's been mostly just Red Narrow Bird in here recently. But that's alright. switching back and forth between who I watch all the time, too. There we go. I'm currently a bit drunk. Oh no. Hey, it's Friday. It's a good time for that. This week went by so fast. And super slow at the same time. It's been crazy cold where I am. I don't remember if you're EU or not, Issy. But it's been in the negatives Fahrenheit where I am. And I think everyone's just kind of glad that this week is over. Get done with these bees pretty quick, honestly. He says moments before disaster. Alright. This is her actual mascot. That I drew in right here. It's like a little like, you know, like those, what is it? We all had like a mom or a grandma who had like those tins of like cookies that when you opened them up, there wasn't cookies in them in there anymore. It's just a bunch of sewing supplies. That's what her actual mascot is because of like the whole like weaving theme, but this one random plushie she got for like $5 is instead taking over her channel. Hold on, I forgot his bottom stripe. My goal right now is to not give you motion sickness while you're drunk with how much I move the canvas. Alright, and this one's all wrapped up in string. I don't know how I want to do the string around him though. Because I think I got a little bit too much right here. So. No, I want to do a little bit more. And then I did like it kind of being wrapped around his foot down here though. I like that. There we go. That doesn't seem like too much. Oh yo, how's it going? It's the dreaded string bee. It is. Although I think I got a nice happy medium. And string bee leads down to Happy Bee. I'm gonna add another, hold on, I'm gonna add another loop around the leg over here. I want there to be two, because I like that. There we go. I wasn't really feeling this music too much. It started off really good, and then it was kind of like, eh. Now it's getting back to it a little bit. All right. Now I gotta fix some of the, yeah, like this line right here. That does not need to be there. Oh, by the way, how you doing, Red Narrow Bird? Glad to see ya. Glad to see ya. Welcome, welcome on this fine Friday evening. I'm currently regaining feeling into one of my fingers because I have this unique ability during winter months to constantly attract and generate static electricity, much to my detriment. And it causes really fun things, like I will be walking in, going to turn on or turn off the light, and all of a sudden I will get 10,000 volts, I feel like, shoved through my middle finger. So I had that happen just before our stream started, and my finger is now just currently getting the feeling back into it. Oh boy. It's so bad that anytime I touch anything metallic, ever in the winter, I always have to like discharge the static electricity in me. Let's see, especially when I'm like out shopping. If I'm about to touch, like, you know those little like metal racks they have that have the like bags of produce, you have to like pull down a bag. I always have to like touch my hand to the side of it, kind of discharge the static electricity before I take that, or I'll go to take it and give myself a really bad shock. So I have to discharge it with some other part of my body. And I gotta do that in my car too. Like touch the side of the door before I get into my car or out of my car, else I'll get shocked. And it's always better to do with the back of your hand rather than like, you know, the tips of your fingers, so. Because it's way less sensitive. But that's my stupid power. I generate too much static electricity. And I can tell when the weather is about to change by the pressure in my ears. This is my stupid jaw. Doing good. Nothing much happened regarding the person. I decided to take a step back and just say they were just being nice. Most likely, they listened to music that made me happier by a lot. All right. Well, again, you never know until you get to know them. I don't like how straight this line is right here. Hold on. Yeah. There we go. There we go. I like that. I don't really like this right here. I'll fix this up a bit. I guess I feel like they're way out of Lily, so that's why I found it extremely strange. You don't know that for sure. Just because you feel like they might not be into you doesn't mean they feel the same. Again, you never know until you get to know them. And it's Friday. Today's the day for vibing, and if you're issy, drinking. Oh, I think Issy might have left. Oh well, They did say they were drunk. Alright, I might get through these B's pretty quick. And I guess it's gonna... Oh man, I'm gonna start to slopping down some colors then. They were just always by their friends, so I don't have a chance to for any one-on-one conversation. Doesn't have to be a whole conversation. Just saying hi is all you need to do. That's all you can do to start. But it is obviously better to wait when they're not in conversation. I get that 100%. That's the part that can be the hard part sometimes. Just finding a time to talk to the person. Reminds me of, oh God. No, I'm not going to complain about that. Alright, this one seems particularly egg-shaped for some reason. He's just so happy. Doesn't know. It's probably for the best. We might not have the same interests. I also don't know if they like me, if we're a relationship. Romantically, I think I mentioned last night, I'm kind of the outcast. Nobody ended up telling me. I ended up telling him on the part. She looked sad, but tried to hide it in her eyes. I could see it. Bro, you're way overthinking everything. Like, to a billionth degree. That's the craziest sentence I've ever heard. The craziest almost thoughts, way overthought sentence I've ever read. You started off with probably for the best and have like, it's probably this way when you don't know. Here's the thing. If you can say, oh, they probably, we might not share the same interest. If you can say that, the reverse is also true. We may also share the same interest. If there's a possibility you might not, then there is also a possibility that you might. You're way overthinking things to like a bajillionth degree. I'm gonna call you out right there. You're so far overthinking things. The whole situation's like down here on grade level and you're off on the moon looking at it from a telescope being like, yeah, something's wrong here, when it's not, man. It's not. Because here's what you can't do. Because, well, overthinking things, as someone who has overthought things way too much, there's nothing I recommend less in life. Well, hard drugs, and, you know, there's also things that are way terrible, like becoming a gambling addict and things like that. That's true, but it's more of if I'm ready for a relationship in that way. You don't have to be ready for a relationship that way. I think you're overthinking this as if it... Here's another way to think about it. Even if this never goes the way of a relationship, at least you will have like reached out and like talked to them and said like hi and like learn how to do all of that stuff a little bit easier, so that maybe if later when you do feel like, you know, maybe I am ready for a relationship, it's a lot easier to start doing those things. Because here's the thing. Real life actually works a lot like video games in a way. Have you ever played Skyrim? Or a game where like the more you do a specific action, like the more you level it up? Like in Skyrim, if you want to get good at sneaking, you actually have to sneak and try to be sneaky. If you actually want to get good at pickpocketing, you actually have to pickpocket people and get good at pickpocketing. It's not just like I leveled up, I decided to take I got enough XP and I decided to take the pickpocketing perk. No, you actually have to like do the actions to get good at the actions. Life's like that. And if you don't do the things to get good at the things, then they will seem very daunting. And something that you look at other people and be like, oh man, they can do this stuff so easy. That's just because they've done it a lot. Like, my job all day, every day is talking to people on the phone and helping them through problems. So when I hear people like, especially even my age, who are like, bro, I hate making phone calls, it stresses me out. I'm like, you just need to make more phone calls. It's so easy. But I also have a lot of phone XP. Like way more than average. So something that for them would be like mid-boss level of difficulty is for me is like, I don't even get XP from that kind of encounter anymore. You know what I'm saying? But just when it comes to phones, there's other things I'm bad at. But even if you're not ready for it, at least being like, hey, how you doing? And like having the courage to actually like talk to them and have those niceties, it's gonna make it a lot easier for you to do that when you do feel like you're ready. You feel me? It's true that I played games like that, Skyrim, in that sense. Yeah, but it's shocking how much life works like that. Except for in life, if you don't use it, you can lose it. So there are times where if you don't use it for a long time, all of a sudden you might like, oh yeah, I can do this, and then you go in to like do the thing and you haven't done it in forever and you suck at it again. You're like, oh, I gotta get the cobwebs off. But yeah, but don't overthink it, and also don't think that it has to go somewhere. Worst case scenario, you'll just get better at doing this the next time. And that's all you really need. Because really, in the ideal scenario, ideally, that's not always the case. You only need to do this you only really need to get it perfectly right once. Well, not even perfectly right, but well, that's bad advice I'm giving. Ideally, you won't have to do it too many times, but you still do need to learn how to. And the more you do it, the better you are at it. Let's see, I do agree on overthinking it. I've always analyzed things to a very intense extent. What I mean, level 0, I'm probably facing level 15. Nah, you're probably facing like a level 2. Sounds easy, but it's not. I don't think it's to go somewhere or anything. It'd just be nice to talk to people, I think, yeah. It's not level 15, it's level 2. You're all in high school. There might be some people who are level 15 in high school, but probably not. If I had to guess, it's probably closer to like level 2. You're still, like you said, you're not level 0, because you know what to do. Someone who's at level 0 has no idea what to do. So you're probably level 1. This person's probably like a 2 or a 3. Which is still double your level, but still not. They've probably been doing that. They're probably really only good at talking to their friends and reaching out to people and like saying like hi's and random things like that to people. But yeah, it's not nearly as big a deal as you're making it out to be. Not in any way. And you think it would be nice to talk to people? Yeah. So, think about it this way. You're not talking to her, you're farming XP from her. Think about it that way. Just be like, alright. Gonna farm some XP. And also, that's gonna take some of the pressure off. Because then you got in your mind that, hey, this is gonna be a grind, And I'm just trying to get better at this, not get this perfect on the first try. So you're not, let's see. She's not like a boss you have to defeat. She's just a mob that you're using to grind XP off of. Think about it that way. Don't make it out to be something bigger than it is, which is a lot easier said than done. As someone who's always made something out to be a lot bigger than it is, yes, it's a lot easier said than done. But I had to learn the hard way. And I'm still dealing with some of the repercussions of that. So. Yeah. I mean, I have friends, and that sounds so messed up. My only issue, like I said, is that all my friends are in other places. Yeah, that's the hard part, especially if you're in a new place. Yeah. But if you think about it, you made all those friends probably when you were younger. One of the nice things about being younger is that you're way less self-conscious, so you're more likely to just try new things and get that XP. The same thing when I was a teacher. I went to school to be a speech, drama, debate teacher, but I ended up being an ESL teacher, English as a second language. And with older kids, whenever they would come in, they would need a lot, especially if they were like middle school to high school age when they came in, they would need a lot more help than someone who was really young when they came in. And in fact, it was pretty common for older kids, like middle school and high school age, to have like 2 years where they barely ever spoke outside of their native language. It was, I forget what the phrase was called, like a silent period or something like that. Extremely common, expected. You didn't have that with younger kids. Like if they came in around like first, second, third grade, it's because they were just like, hi, I'm here. And you give them something, just a new word, they're like, great, I'm gonna go try that on all my friends, because they're just kids and they didn't care, and they would pick it up really fast, and they wouldn't have those silent periods, and they would learn way quicker. Because they were just like, cool, and just go off and do stuff and try out new stuff just because it was new, and they were like, oh, this is cool. But when you get older and you get more self-conscious, because your brain is actually able to comprehend you as a self, which is good because it's needed for understanding your place in the world and gaining empathy and things like that. But it also leads to things like embarrassment and overthinking and whatnot. It becomes actually harder to learn. Actually becomes harder to learn languages and other skills like that, and even other skills, especially if you're embarrassed to, or what am I trying to say? That's not quite how I want to say this. It doesn't become harder. Well, actually, it does come a little bit harder, especially to do things that are more like social and involve interacting with other people and like using a language. Because it's one thing if it's like, oh, I'm just gonna go off and I'm gonna practice piano by myself in my room. That's one thing because you're just playing for yourself. But when it comes to actually playing the piano in front of people, that's a different skill entirely. And that's something that has to be done as well, practiced as well. It's the same thing with anything. So, what was I saying with this? Oh yeah. I think where I was going with this is try to see if you can't like tap into like 5-year-old you and just be like, cool person, hi, how you doing? Because 5-year-old you really like learning new things and meeting new people. Because all 5-year-olds do. Yeah. I feel as being okay. I did open to someone about how I feel, and it was kind of just went, damn, then moved on. 5-year-old me was shy as fuck. Yeah, some are. But the 5-year-old you also just on like a child development, like brain development level, might have been shy, but it's the same case with everybody. But let's see, it might have been shy, but that shyness wasn't tinged with anxiety, which is what can happen when you get older. Because all of a sudden, like I said, you're finally aware of like yourself and where you are in the world, and of you as a self, as an entity. As we get older, and especially around high school, is where that really, really, really develops in most people. So it actually leads to a lot of what you're feeling right now, if I'm going to be honest. So, if it helps you any better, a lot of what you're feeling right now is extremely common for people your age, like to the point where it's actually just universal. But that's just because you're starting to develop the actual ability to view yourself in the world and like what your place in it is, and actually be able to comprehend your actions and how they affect others on a much wider scale than you've had the capabilities of doing previously. So it leads to a lot of what you're dealing with. I don't know if that helps. I hope it does, but everything that you're dealing with is what literally everybody goes through at that age. I was so shy, they thought I had hearing issues. Oh no, and then I had tons of hearing tests done. Yes, that's what caused that to happen. I have so many memories where I felt like the lab rat in the room, raising my arm. I know everyone has done it, but it was so frequent. I felt like the lab rat. I had a thought a few hours ago that they're just human. What the fuck is the issue? Yeah. But a lot of that stuff is, like I said, a lot of that stuff is easier said than done, but a lot of it is a matter of perspective. One thing I like to do is because let's see. This is gonna sound like I don't know if this is a weird story, but I remember I think I'm a very anxious person that decided very young that I just didn't have time for anxiety, or I just didn't want to deal with it, if that makes sense. Because I'll have all those thoughts too, like, oh, this and that, they don't like me, oh my god, I'm gonna die in my car on my way to work and whatnot. But I'll still get up and do it and be just like, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever, thoughts go away. And I think that started earlier with I think I know the turning point of that, and it was a moment where I decided to accept things as they were rather than how I thought how they appeared in my brain. And it's a kind of it's a real little thing, but for some reason this moment stuck out in my head. There was one day when I was really young, I used to love the cereal Corn Flakes. Don't ask me why. I wouldn't eat a bowl of them now. Well, I would, but there's way better cereals. They're actually just kind of gross unless you eat them really fast, or its like it's super soggy and super gross super fast. Anyways, but I like Corn Flakes, and I would like to put some fruit in there, like some bananas and stuff like that. And one day, we had like some purple grapes, and I was like, oh hey, grapes and cereal, I'll throw those in. And I threw them in, and I remember eating them. And for some reason in my mind, I was looking at that, like as I was getting to the bowl, the milk went down, and the tops of the grapes were like just barely sticking out of the milk. And for some reason, my brain made a connection, like, hey, the shininess of the milk on these like purple grapes really looks like the shininess like on the back of a beetle. And all of a sudden in my mind I was like, oh my god, there's beetles in my cornflakes. And I remember it became like such an overwhelming thought, I actually started like gag and thought I was gonna throw up. And then I had a moment of like, they're just grapes. They're just grapes. What am I doing? And I forced myself to finish that entire bowl. I still don't eat grapes in my cornflakes, mostly because I just don't get cornflakes. But I kind of remember that as like a moment like, hey, it was like a shift in perspective, because I still have all those thoughts, because everybody does. Hi there, my fellow artist. How was your day? It was good. Hey, Inti. But yeah, but I still have all those thoughts, but you just kind of have to, I guess I've just kind of learned facts to go against it. Like, all of a sudden I'm driving on my car, and you ever have one of those moments where it's like, I forget what the phrase is, but where all of a sudden you realize, like, moment of clarity, that's what it is, where all of a sudden you realize, like, hey, what am I doing? Like, I'm in a 2,000 pound hunk of metal flying at 70 miles an hour down the road, surrounded by other hunks of metal that are flying just as fast. One tiny wrong move and it could just be over in an instant. That stuff will pop into my head, and then I'll be like, yeah, but I've been doing it for this long and I know what I'm doing. I've been driving for almost 20 years, but I'm driving for almost 20 years. They make these cars super safe. I might get hurt, but it's not very likely that I'll get killed if something does happen. And also, there's way, way, way more people that make it to their location safely day in, day out than don't. So the probability of that happening is super low. So it's just focusing on what is real, and also being like, hey, even though something bad could happen, that's still not going to stop me from using my car to get places, because it's the most convenient way to get around, and really the only way to get around where I live. So I kind of have to. So I might as well just get used to it. But I don't know. So like that thought you had, like, they're just human, what's the issue? Yeah, focus on that. That's a good thought to have. Just be like, they're just another person. Focus on what is real and what is true about the situation, not what could be, or you'll drive yourself crazy. One of my dad's friends got killed from a car wreck at a young age very recently. Yeah, it can happen, but compared to the amount of people that are actually on the road and make it to a place safely and the people that don't, it's an extremely small percentage of people. It's not an impossibility, it's never an impossibility, but the likelihood of it being you is always very, very small. It's like that meme. You ever seen that meme where it's like the odds of getting killed by a cow are low, but never zero? Yeah, they're low. They're extremely low. And focus on that fact. Focus on what is true, rather than what could be, or what's going on through your head. Because our brains will, when it comes to self-preservation, our brains will try to stop us. And how do I say this? We are smarter than our brains, and we can trick ourselves into doing certain habits and whatnot out of fear. But if you continue to do that, then you'll just stay there. And fear is a terrible thing. Fear is really good at keeping you alive, but really bad at letting you live. Like really bad at letting you live. Keep that in mind. You're getting closer and closer to that sub button. You've been streaming for the past 7 days now, man. I'm keep out. Yeah, past 7 days. I've been streaming for the past 21 days. I decided for the month of February, I was like, hey, yo, I'm going to take the entire month of February. I'm going to stream every day and see if I actually like doing this. Because there was a time where I was like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. I fucking love it and I want to keep doing it every day. But I'm already like trying to figure out like, oh man, I have stuff that I have to do that I was able to put off for like 1 month only. So we'll see. But yeah. Yeah, you told me about, oh yeah. That's a good phrase. Fear is good at keeping you alive, but terrible at letting you live. Yeah. For some reason, you're talking about fear being scared of me. It made me think of Arthur Knight and scared because fear talks. Yeah. It's kind of like that. It's not real. It's all in your head. Now again, a lot easier said than done. Trust me. But start somewhere small. Start grinding that XP. And eventually, it'll come a lot easier. Yes, Incy, but how you doing, Inty? I haven't seen you in a bit. Tonight's kind of like the day everyone's showing up. I saw Issy. I saw you and Red Narrow Bird. Got the whole crew here today. It is a Friday, though. What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's almost 9. Holy cow. I wanted to get all these bees done. Oh, Auntie, did I show you this full piece? I don't think I've shown you this. Ta-da! Here, let me hide my reference. There we go. Look at this. For some reason you just reminded me of a song. One of the lyrics is, turn around to the sound of the voice that you're flowing to inside your head. And the song is inside your head. Yeah. I just wanted to ask you to zoom out. Hey, I'm a mind reader. But yeah, this is easily the best thing I've drawn so far in my entire life. Oh man, I wonder. There's been a couple times in my life where for no reason at all I've just bought sketchbooks and like done random doodles in there and stuff. I wonder if I can find those because I don't throw things out too much, especially if I have like sentimental value. They're probably real bad. But I'll like sketch for a bit and then I'll like put it down and never pick it back up and come back to like, oh yeah, I did that a bunch throughout my life. But suddenly it's so much easier to do it when I can just keep it all in one place on a tablet. Who knew? Psychic Wizard must be executed. I mean, you had to catch me first. No. A psychic and a wizard. I might not be fast at running, but I used to be good at it. A long time ago. When I was like 19, I could run like 11 miles. I could almost do a half marathon. Now I think I could do 3 or 4. I'd probably, for sure 3, maybe 3.5. I gotta remember. It was... Yeah, because my block where I live is like 0.4 miles. So I remembered if I run around it 5 times, I've run 2 miles. And there was a time last year, like around the summer, where I was getting up to like 4 miles. Then I got lazy. I stopped doing it. No, then I hurt myself. Or something happened. I don't remember what. And I stopped, and then it's like, once you stop for a bit, it's so much more difficult to pick it back up. Let's see. It says it's on point, looking very nice. However, the spine, the head could use some work in the future, although good pose is looking good. Yeah. Yeah. I know. But at the same time... At the same time, I'm alright. Because it gives the best view. So... That was a deliberate choice. I noticed that a while ago, but I was like... I don't know. It doesn't make much sense, but it looks good. I'm a slow runner, but I have good endurance. I'm a smoker. Oh, I sabotaged you and you're going. I'm a smoker. Yeah, that'll ruin your lungs and make running way harder. Well, now you gotta, hey, just know, and if ever you quit smoking, then maybe you could beat me in a race. Well, I'm probably not hard to beat in a sprint. I said I'm built for distance, not speed. Although I got the legs for speed. Well, I should take that back. I got the leg length for speed. Although I feel like a lot of like the guys who are really good sprinters aren't too tall. I feel like they're usually shorter guys. Also, I could be wrong. Actually, hold on. How tall is Usain Bolt? Hold up. World's fastest man. How tall is he? He's probably pretty tall. Well, now I gotta know. How tall is Usain? Usain Bolt was 6'5". Never mind. I was deeply wrong. How to explain smoking for like 6 hours makes me go insane. But not smoking for 6 hours. That's called nicotine addiction. We were talking about smoking last night. That is not good. Now I understand that people who smoke can tell you not to start smoking. Yeah. It's been 6 years and I'm still standing but going mentally insane. Yep. Good luck if you ever do try to quit. I hear it's rough. What is it? I was telling this to Red Narrow Bird last night, but I had a friend who, let's see. He's a guy who had a pretty crazy life. He is like a recovered alcoholic and all of that. And I knew him for a while. He hadn't drank, last time I knew, he hadn't drank like alcohol in 25 years or smoked a cigarette in 16. And he said alcohol didn't tempt him anymore, but still every once in a while he'd get a craving for a smoke after not having one for 16 years. So those things are rough, man. Those things are rough. And that alone made me want to be like, yeah, no, I never want to start doing that. I don't know. I had to fucking quit. I feel mentally insane. I have to fucking quit. Money bet is as bad as it is. True, yeah. Hopefully you can make a decent recovery if you ever planned it, attempting it. Yep. Don't quit cold turkey. Although if you do, also, speaking from experience with like other friends I've had that quit smoking, if you do, let all your friends know that you're gonna quit smoking, and there's gonna be some times where you're gonna be real cranky. Because you're gonna get cranky. But yeah, I can understand. I can understand the money situation. I am in the same job I was 2 years ago. And 2 years ago I was able to save up enough money to go to on a little weekend vacation. Go to do Airbnb and go to a show I wanted to go see and do a bunch of sightseeing and exploring. Nothing that's too crazy. It was just 4 hours away and I could drive there easy. Can't do that these days. Can't do that these days. I'm just trying not to be in the red at the end of the month, and I'm making more than I did back then. My pay's gone up. Which is crazy. And my car got paid off in that time. So I don't have that $200 eating through me every month, but nah. I was so excited to finally have some disposable income. Although, there's a lot of talks about us getting a $5,000 check. So, if that goes through, guess whose credit card is getting paid off? This guy. That'll get my credit card paid off, and then I have $1,000 left over. I have no idea what I will do with that money, though. I kind of just want to keep the $1,000 and just put it in my savings and actually have it for a rainy day. I probably need to use it to get my car fixed up because it's super banged up. But frankly, that's not on the list of... It runs fantastic, but I'd rather have that money for when it stops running fantastic rather than just doesn't look fantastic. You know what I mean? Let's see. You make me want to draw. It doesn't help that I'm also listening to a song. It has a cool drawing of a woman on it. You know, I'm not getting back on that topic because someone's here. Oh, yeah. I'll let Red Narrow tell you that if he wants to, or if they want to. Speaking of drawing, probably need to learn how to draw dudes at one point. Let's see. What have you been up to? What have you been up to this past weekend, T? Done anything exciting? Or are you just freezing your ass off like the rest of us? Oh yeah, aren't you... You live in Europe, right? Let's see. I would just say I've been going through some confusing signs by someone that's trying to be nice or likes me. Yeah, it's a good summary. It's been a big old mind fuck for me since I'm an outcast. Going through 2 weeks of straight overtime every weekend. You guys remember? Yeah. It's been cold as hell here. Let's see. What was it? I gotta put this in the Celsius because I just don't know. How do I switch that? On this stupid weather app. Celsius, okay, there we go. It was, in Celsius, it was negative 19 for us yesterday, with a high of negative 4. And today, the low of negative 10 and a high of 3. All right, back to freedom units. There we go. Dang, that's a crazy winter, yeah. And to top it all off, so that was yesterday, where it was negative 19. And then on Monday, it's going to be 15 degrees in Celsius. Tuesday is going to be 18. So in Fahrenheit, that is... In Fahrenheit, it's a bigger swing, obviously. We're going from negative 2 to 64 degrees. I'm going crazy over dating in this day and age. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It pisses me off. I've been down bad and feeling hell lonely recently, but it's gonna pass. I'll get back on the grind. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy weather. Yeah, and I know it. I'm in pretty much the same boat with dating. Oh wait, I gotta draw his arms. Almost forgot. Ah. I gotta say, I feel like this music has affected me. I feel way more jazz today. Let's see. At 23, oh boy. I'd say it's like 1% that you would actually be someone to have something. Relationships I got in high school where they had a good experience, even though I was really serious about it. Extremely true. As somebody who didn't date in high school, because there was this whole movement like, oh, you should only date when you're gonna. There was an extremely dumb movement that was going on when I was a kid. I was like, oh, you shouldn't date when you're in high school because you're really just like dating and then breaking up. You're really just practicing for a divorce. You should only date the person that you're going to marry, which was stupid. Because then I got to college and I was like, wait, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. How am I supposed to start dating when I don't know how to date? And when I was supposed to be figuring this out in high school like everybody else, I wasn't. I'm fucked. So that's been fun to figure out way later than everybody else. Yeah, they don't do that anymore because I figured out that was stupid. They don't teach people that anymore. And just, it's just I've never experienced anything like it, so it's weird. Girls in high school, like cool Asian guys, that's all that I command they can provide. Yeah. That can provide or is honestly... Things change. Although it gets a lot harder to meet people the older you get. I can say that from experience. That's what I'm dealing with right now. And dating apps are a hellscape. Especially if you're trying to look for something long-term. There's lots of studies that have been done about this, and I had no idea, but I've tried out dating apps, and the whole time I was like messaging people, getting no responses and no responses and no responses. And finally at one point I was like, I'm paying like $30 a month or something like that for this thing, just for absolutely nothing to happen. This is not worth it. And I stopped, only to find out like earlier this year that apparently that was not an isolated thing, and that what dating apps have done is that let's see, they found that men kind of tend to like go after women just based solely off of attractiveness, which means that we're a lot more fair in like who we try to like message and whatnot. But women, on the other hand, only really respond to like the top like percent of guys who both look good, have a good job, and like good careers and whatnot. Like the top, like it's like literally like the top like 5 to 1%, because those are the things that are attractive to them. Whereas guys, it's just based on looks. So we're way more fair in who we message, but women will only respond to like these very few select guys. So if you're anywhere else on that graph, like at all, like for the longest time I didn't have a very good job. I was making like barely $40K a year as a teacher. So yeah. So if you're anywhere else on that graph at all, you most likely didn't see a whole lot of action on dating apps, especially if you're looking for something long term. And I was like, oh, that explains it. I thought I was doing something wrong the entire time. No! Just a quiet outcast guy into music. I was just focused teaching myself and doing good in school, so I don't know what's going to happen with me. I'm just weird. You're not weird. Yes. It's also that what I've done for the most part, but I'm just the worst student in the whole school. Let's see. I will say one thing, Red Narrow Bird. You called yourself an outcast a bunch. You're not an outcast. You just might not have a whole lot of friends. There's a difference between not having a lot of friends and being an outcast. An outcast is someone that generally no one wants to be around and is shunned from society. But there's one thing that you want to be very careful of. And this is something I had to learn very recently with some stuff that I had going on in my life. Is that when you find out there's something in your life that you need to work on, or maybe something that is a characteristic about you that's negative, because we all have those. One of the things you want to be very careful of doing is being like, all right, well, I got this thing that I got to work on. Instead of being like, oh my gosh, I'm blank. Because one thing I found that I was doing, especially with some stuff that I found out from my family and whatnot, is that I was making this bad thing that had happened to me. I was making it my entire identity rather than just a thing that had happened to me. And it was destroying me. There was a couple months there this summer where I was like just straight up in it, dealing with depression. It's because I had made this one thing my entire identity rather than just a thing that had happened to me. And luckily I was seeing a therapist at the time. I got to that realization. I was like, oh, okay. And that's when I actually started to change. So again, it's perspective. Yeah, you might not have a lot of friends, but that's just where it is. That's just what it is. You don't necessarily need a whole lot of friends. Having friends isn't the amount of friends you have isn't indicative of whether you're a good person or not. Or whether or not people actually like being around you. It just kind of is what it is. If you're not satisfied with it, well, that's on you to make the change. Just like how it's on everybody else, but careful not to make that your entire identity, or it will consume you, and you'll treat it like it's your entire identity. When it's really just a part of you. Does that make sense? Usually in high school, I made friends who played League of Legends or True. Then we just clashed together, went to the internet cafe. Oh boy, I was a good kid in school. I didn't discover League of Legends until I was in college. I'm about to learn something really sad. Because I don't know if League of Legends even had been released yet when I was in high school. I'm gonna be so real. When was League of... October 27th, 2009. I graduated high school before League of Legends came out. Barely. But I did graduate from high school before League of Legends came out. I don't know what it would mean. It's just, I mean, literally, I have no one where I am currently. I couldn't name one person. Daniel, yeah, I'm 34. Might not look it. But I is... I'm one of the millennials. But I'm one of the millennials that hates the word adulting. I'm also one of the millennials that's starting to hate my own generation. Now I get why people hated us back in the day. We're annoying. We're so annoying. Oh. I think that happens though. It's difficult to see. It's difficult to see the forest or the trees. AKA, it's difficult to see how something really is when you're in the middle of it. And when I remember when I was in my early 20s and there was all those like articles about like, oh my god, millennials are the worst, and I was like, excuse me, that's not the case. Now that we're getting older, like we are the worst. We're annoying, that's all. Let's see. I was in second grade. That means that you were around 8 years old. Because kindergarten 5, first to 6th, 7th is 8th. No. Kindergarten, you're 5. Well, you start when you're 5. You start first grade when you're 6. And you start second grade when you're about 7. So you're about 7 or 8 years old. Damn. Well, you did say that you're 23. I'm 11 years older than you, so... Oh my god. Help! I got bad news for you, Inti. It gets harder to meet people when you get the older you get. Unless you like going to bars. If you don't like going to bars like me, you're screwed. Let's see. Or if you have friends. If you have friends that meet people and they can like hook you up with like their girlfriends, friends, and whatnot. The problem is is that I'm friends with a whole bunch of guys who are loner losers like me. So none of my friends know shit, and I don't know shit to help them out with either. So kind of stuck. Yeah, but it's alright. Gotta change eventually. Yeah. First grade, I got my workmates and my good friends around, but no women, not at all. I have done that. It was not what I expected. Yeah. Oh god, at one point, this was years ago, but I even took... By the way, I'm convinced that there's nobody who understands you and what you're looking for in a partner worse than your parents, because this was years ago. My mom had this... My mom is like... She works for this, like, kind of insurance company, but it's more for, like, the coverage people get, like, after they get fired from a job. Our company handles that coverage. And she was, like, number 3 in the company. Now, when I say that, this was a company in, like, a very small town. So, it probably doesn't even have, like... It probably doesn't even have, like, 50 people that work for the company. So saying that she was number 3 there really isn't that big of a deal. But she had this girl that came work for her. And I was off at, like... I think I was off at college. Or I was working, like, just out of college, something. And she was like, oh, there's this new girl that came in. She's so sweet. When you come up here for Christmas, you should, like, hang out with her and whatnot. I was like, all right, cool. I mostly just said that because I didn't have anything going. So I was like, if I say no to my mom in this, she's going to wonder what's going on. And then I go and I meet this girl, and she was, like, the worst. She was just, like, talking to her was like trying to, we had zero chemistry. Something was always wrong. And I think that she was, if I'm gonna be honest, she was also kind of put in a situation where she was like, well, my boss is asking me to meet her son, so I kind of gotta say yes. So luckily neither of us were feeling it, so yeah, but I've never forgotten that. I've never been like, Mom, what were you thinking? Anyways, we just met and got, like, frozen yogurt, and it was one of those situations where I was like, I don't know how long to stay in this, because I'm not feeling it, and neither is she. Anyway, standards are too high. TLDR. All I want is a woman. We can bond with the same stuff we love and do. A woman I dated did not have any passion for anything. Straight up basic ass woman. Yeah, oh no. Exactly my situation all over again. I can take the opportunity, but I will never go any deeper than 1 or 2 dates. Yeah. And it's nice when you have someone that you can bond over stuff with. I'm kind of in the same boat. I am terrible at meeting women. There's a significant portion of my life where I know I would have changed significant portions of myself based on the person I was dating. Luckily, I had zero riz and wasn't able to get anybody during that time. So there's that. So I'd probably be a much different person today, but now I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? Yeah, same. I just want someone I feel like I can be myself around. That's all. That's all I want, really. And someone who wants to start a family. Which is easier said than done. Because there have been girls where I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, this could go somewhere. But then she's like, I absolutely do not want kids or anything like that. And I'm like, well, you're out. Because that's something that's very important. Having... And frankly, as I've gotten older, that's something that's become much more attractive in people. Is when I find somebody who, like... I find that we would share like life goals together. That's become way more of an attractive quality as I've gotten older. Where I'm like, oh hey, I feel like you're somebody that we would actually want the same things out of life together. That's one thing I found myself way more attracted to recently than when I was younger. So, there's some good. There's some good there. Hey, let's watch over to her. Oh, anyway, no, let's watch next time. It's one thing that stuck with me till this day is that they chose what to date, fuck. We chose who we marry for the rest of our lives. Technically, they do choose who to marry, but yeah, they have a lot more choice in the matter, which goes back to the previous issue with dating apps, is that because they have a whole lot more choice in the matter, they're going to choose the best options, obviously. So that's the reason why dating apps kind of ended up how they did. Whereas before, you would just meet somebody and vibe, and go from there. But when you have, I mean, I kind of get it though. You have the choice between when presented with a menu, and all the food on there is free as long as it wants to be eaten by you, well, you're going to try to get the best item on the menu, obviously. But the catch is, it has to actually like you enough. But yeah. And that's what happened. And that's how I got here. But again, it's alright. Because at the end of the day, the only thing you can do is really keep working on yourself and find your own passions. Because just how you said these girls with no passions were unattractive, same goes for us too. Passionless people are just unattractive. So don't forget to cultivate yours. Which is why I'm here. And drawing VTubers. Uh-oh. Although I gotta say, VTubers are not great for weedy women. I sincerely, when it comes to merch and stuff like that, there's a bunch of things I think, oh hey, that would be kind of cool to have. However, I can't have a house full of scantily clad anime women, or if I do bring a girl back here, she's gonna take one look at this and be like, nope, I can't work with this. When I bring a girl back to my place, I want her to be like, I can work with this. So, that's the goal. That's all I'm shooting for. I can work with this. So I gotta watch if I do buy merch or anything, I gotta watch what it is. Which is why I like plushies. Because these are always cute. I don't want to. Yeah, it's one thing that stuck with me. Yeah, said it might sound the only dates I got in the past 5 years are from dating apps and nothing else. Well, you've done better than me. I literally got nothing from dating apps. I've tried them a couple times, and every time it was literally nothing. I started a couple conversations with girls, but the problem is that the couple times that I did that, they were like really far away. Like there was this one time. I started a conversation with a girl and she lived in Colorado. I don't live anywhere near Colorado. I know you're in Europe, but let me put... I was just thinking about this the other day, but the United States is huge. Let me put it in perspective for you. Let's see, what is 60 miles an hour in kilometers? mph to 2 kilometers per hour. Okay, miles per hour, 60. All right. 60 miles per hour is 96 kilometers per hour. Okay. Okay. Nice. As sad as it might sound, nice. I got a whole Dragon Ball collection, so Naruto figures. Nice. Yeah. There's always been a part of me that wants to start that, but at the same time I know how expensive it is, so I'm like, can't justify collecting figures like that. But let's see. Well, the United States is huge. To put things in perspective, it is possible to it is possible to, in the state of Texas alone, to get on a highway or a freeway or whatever they call big long roads, but it is possible to get on a highway, drive let's see, I did the math, drive 96 kilometers per hour, I guess for you, so it'd be 60 miles an hour for us. To drive that in a straight line for 12 hours without stopping. Not stopping to eat, not stopping to get gas, just 12 hours of driving in a straight line at 96 kilometers per hour. And at the end of that 12 hours, it is possible for you to still be in the state of Texas after non-stop driving for 12 hours. That's one state. That's not even the biggest state in America either. That's a lot. Yeah. Because I've heard... I always like to use I always like to use the time, because I've always heard a bunch of stories of people like from America going to like Britain and being like, oh my god, we're going on this huge trip, and then they drive like 2 hours. And in America, that's nothing. It's like a morning commute. That's not a joke. There really are people who that is their commute every day. But I feel like when you put things in time, and that makes sense to everybody, and being able to drive quickly without stopping for 12 hours in a row and still be in the same state, yeah. America, fuck yeah, get the American trucks right, yeah, that's a lot, what the fuck, yeah. I used to drive for years straight and got good. But then stopped sort of to work on a game, and now I'm on a break, but might get back there. Yeah. 2 hours is nothing. Yeah, 2 hours is nothing in America. Yep. So, when I say that I was not living in the state of Colorado, and she was in the state of Colorado, it's a long ways away. I think I did the math, and it was like oh god, that was actually going to be a really long drive if we ever met up. I think it probably would have been somewhere close to like maybe 15 hours, 15 or 20 hours. I don't know. It would have been a very long drive, and I don't know why the app put us together. Anyways, I talked to her for a bit, and obviously the distance was too much, and we were like, nah. And then there was another girl who was like currently in the military at the time. And I gotta say, I'm really not into muscle mommies or like muscle women. I'm not. That's just a personal thing. I'm not into it. So I was like, I wasn't really feeling her. That's it. That's literally all the action I've had. And that was just talking. We never even like met up. That was all the action I had on dating apps in my entire life. Maybe I was just bad at making profiles. That's also a possibility. It's just 2 hours of nothing. Screw this into a game. It doesn't get easier probably doesn't get easier that way either. I'm going to be honest. Because it's the same thing, just with a different coat of paint. Same issues. Did I forget to... Hold on. I did forget the bottom line on this guy over here. I just realized that. There we go. Okay, Fred. Listen, only do that if you actually want to kiss boys. Or else you just gave up. And if I'm gonna be honest, it's never a good reason to be with someone because you gave up. That is no basis for a healthy relationship. What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's 9:40. Where did all the time go? Hold on, I'm really thirsty. It's my water. Oh my god. Ah, here's my eyes. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna get my straight line. The last girl I dated was overweight, bro. She did piercing, buckle lip. That was me. I told her that she had such a beautiful age. She doesn't need anything else to make her look good. Response was, my mother would have loved to hear you out anyway. I'll keep my piercings. Yeah, well. Hey. You gotta learn to let stuff like that slide. Only if it gets like... I don't know. I don't mind piercing so much. My microphone's way over here. Unless it's like egregious. Like I don't like a lot of them. But, I mean, no one's gonna be perfect. I never came in my straight line. Sorry, but I had to clip that. It was funny. Oh, no. Clip, relieved, filthy, jellyfish. What is this? Why can't I click? No! Oh, there it goes. Okay. No! It won't let me click that. Hold on, bring it up on my computer. What did that look like from your perspective? Oh, please don't be loud. Oh, please don't be loud. No! Help! What am I doing? How did I get here? Who hired me? Oh, wait. Here we go. Wait, is it? Okay, the sound's off. Okay, good. Luckily, it didn't mess up my camera too bad. My camera's not actually, like, attached to anything. It's just a regular webcam that is just kind of very precariously sitting on top of like a phone holder. So like a tiny bump and it gets like all cattywampus. So I'm kind of glad I didn't knock it off, honestly. But it was either I put it like right here and I find something to like put it right here at like relatively eye level, or it'd be way up here or like way down here. It was like no in between, so yeah. Thank you. I got a clip. That's my first clip, other than one I made myself. All right. I'm gonna try. Okay, I'm gonna try finishing these bees. I said I was gonna try finishing that, and I got talking. I've been just a yapper today. Some music, man, I tell you what. I just selected some funkier music and it's been a funkier stream. I've been doing like lo-fi jazz, but today it was like 70s funk. Sure, I'll give it a try. Alright. It's going too fast. The space I got left is reserved for my ash. You should see the next time I stream. I have like no desk space at all. 3 monitors in the tablet in the middle is crazy. Bro, 3 monitors. I got 1 in my tablet. I really need a second monitor. And I got a desk mat. And I have... Oh... I can use my tablet as a second monitor and I just leave it plugged in to kind of use it as that. But it's not great for like watching things off of, so okay. So a couple years ago for Christmas, I asked for like stuff to like clean a grill I had gotten. And I ended up getting like 2 of the exact same cleaning sets from Amazon from people. One I use, and then the other one I never returned because I just use it on my desk to prop up my tablet so I can kind of use it as like a pseudo second monitor whenever I'm playing video games. Super janky, but it works. Speaking of janky, this camera will never be the same again. Oh wait, hold on. Might have nailed it. There we go. All right. I do not have something to hold my tablet. I use books. That, honestly, I have a bunch of those. But this one was just like, it was the perfect height and it was like the perfect length. And honestly, I should have turned it in and got $40 back. But it's been more useful to me as a present. It's been more useful to me as that. So, it's way too late now. I got that like, that was the Christmas of 2023, so. It's been over a year. And I don't think Amazon takes returns that late. I still got the receipt though, so who knows, maybe. go. And I'm not going to do like the little things that are coming off of him because I don't know what to do for those. I don't want to lock those in just yet. Alright, let's see if I can finish up this last B. Wait, he is the last one, right? Alright. This is what getting pinched by the crab. Sorry, this is my favorite part. I just think it's so funny. Last time I logged in on a drawing, it took me like 10 hours to complete, in total like 17 hours with Clip Studio open. Maybe next weekend I can just go crazy. Haven't really done anything too crazy. Just line practice and some anatomy. Yeah, go for it. Anymore, I feel like I can't log in unless I'm logged in on an art project, unless it's like a big project or something that I want to draw. Because it was something like, oh, I should really do like some anatomy practice or something. I just like, oh, I don't want to do that in my brain. But I need to so bad. Something tells me this might be more of a fluke this time. Let's see. My latest drawing is unfinished, but still working on it from time to time. It's finished. Describe it. It's basically a Venom with a few alternate colors. Ooh, Venom. Venom, Venom, Venom. Is it that time Eminem did that song for the Venom movie? With what is his name? Chris Hardy? Bane? Whatever his name is. Oh my god, I can't draw. This is a terrible way to find out. I don't have anything particularly interesting to say about Eminem doing that Venom movie song. It just came to my mind. I was like, wait a second, hold up. That's this timeline. By the way, take it out of the follow my channel or else. Oh, am I not following you? Hold up, I can do that. It's your boy NT. Boom, there we go. Hey, all right. There we go. All right. All right, there we go. I have followed. It's weird to think about. Stop fucking around. Let's go. Yeah. Why not? Although, I swear, if you stream at crazy times for me, and I get woken up by your go live notifications, I will turn off notifications. Hold on, I don't want to. Yeah, like right there. There we go. Let's see how I stream after work. I have no idea when after work is for you. I guess it'd probably be about after work for me is at around 7 p.m. for you. Alright, that's good timing. It's about an hour before I start. Oh yeah, because you work like crazy night shift hours. Alright, I'm going to finish up this 1B and then I think I'm going to call it, because that'll be the end of the line art. And I can start tomorrow with coloring. I'll probably try to get in all the base colors and maybe start a bit on some shading and texturing. But something tells me that shading is going to be crazy on this one, because the light's going to be so weird. I don't even know where the light's going to be coming from. And also she's in outer space, so... And also there's going to be a whole bunch of different things that are going to have like little glowy particles on them, so that's going to be so fun. I know I'm going to end up adding way too much work on this for me. Because I'd be like, oh, I want to make this like glowy and cool. And then I do that and I'd be like, wait a second, I got to make everything else around it glowy and cool too. No. Good luck and see you some other time. Yeah, I think. Talking about crazy hours, it's nearly 6 a.m. and I'm calling it. Yeah, all right. You have a good one. I'll see you later, Inti. Good night. It was fun talking to you. And with that, I think that's the last little bee. Yay. There we go. Let's turn off that underlayer. And there we go. The line art is done. There's a few other things like a couple extra details, but a lot of that's going to be more, especially like the trails for like ones that are like moving. I think those are going to be more like effects rather than things I've actually drawn. I need to find like a brush that gives like kind of like a comet trail to things, because especially I want this little guy to have that, and I want them all to have it to like a varying extent, but a lot of them is going to be a more like kind of up and down, while he's just going to be like anyways. All right, with that, We're gonna call it there. And my brain just died on me. With that, we're gonna call it there, and I think I'm gonna go play some Marvel Rivals, which is something that I do not do on stream because no one wants to see me struggle to get out of bronze. But there's some new heroes out, and I want to try them out. All right, it's been fun. Good talking to you. I think Inti might be gone. It was good talking to you, Red Narrow Bird. And I'll see you guys later. All right. Peace. Where's OBS? There it is.